Now we're live. Hey,
Hello,
Jack.
hello. Hi, Brad. What's happening?
Well, I was worried that you were dying, but now you're not, so I'm happy.
It's just the webcam.
Just the webcam itself.
Just the webcam.
Yeah. Well, as long as you don't have imminent death, I'm a happy camper, Jack. You know what I mean? The thing is I want you to be alive, buddy. Alive, maybe even well.
Is that too much to ask?
I mean, it's clearly too much to ask for me.
I
So,
was I was setting myself up for that joke. Thank you.
so, so I'm ready to talk about some lists today. I've got the same little thing about fix my lists. Hold on, let's show my. Whoa, I don't want to show that yet. Screw it.
Brad, what are you doing?
I have two PowerPoints because I don't know how to make PowerPoints come together because I'm old.
Oh, that's fair.
So I was gonna show my little doctor, and I have two other doctor animations, but we'll show them at the end.
Please tell me you're not playing Doctor with the chat.
Oh, I hope to play doctor with the chat.
Mhm. Well,
Hold on, I got to do my standard greeting of hey hey because I want to put something in chat because there's no chat yet, and that makes me sad.
yeah, there's nobody here. Hey ya. All right, we got a graphic. It's a whole thing, honestly.
I mean, we're kind of a big deal, and I almost didn't find this because Werner put this into not just a message to me, and we all know that I don't know how to find things.
Well, you're inconsistent is the problem. You'll respond to anything 20% of the time. It doesn't matter how we send it to you.
Because if I'm online and looking, I just see it. But most of the time, I have no notification. By the way, this is how I roll with communication. I don't have notifications on for anything on anywhere, like text and my phone, anything. I just happen to occasionally look at things, and if I happen to be there, I do something about it.
Yeah, it was funny. We had a little MMA chat and between you, me, and Adam, and you were in there, and then somebody posted something in our Art of War chat, and you responded immediately. And John's like, "Huh? Why do you respond immediately?" I'm like, "I know."
Yeah, I was just want to say because I was in a more important chat.
That's right.
I was talking about MMA, and that makes me happy.
It's all right. We got a Grey Knights list.
Also, I want you guys to know that anytime you don't like the list we've chosen, it's all Jack's fault.
It is. I was pretty sure Brad was picking this round, but it was me last night.
Very late, also. Thanks, Werner.
Very yes. So missed opportunity not picking that Phobos list. Oh, maybe I just wanted to copy it for when I play Nick with the Phobos list. I mean, that's not what it is, but
Maybe.
maybe.
Let's talk about this bad boy. We got
That boy.
Triple Dread Knights.
Yep. This is from Paul Ham.
And is this are we sword bearers? I don't see the Brotherhood.
I'll look it up. Sometimes parts of it don't make the graphic.
Gotcha.
It is does not say. It says Grey Knights Battalion.
We got Drago, my man, a psychic, mortal wound bomb librarian, a Grandmaster Dread Knight. We've got
A Sigil, Servant of the Throne, Gate, and Amplification, which are the two powers I like on them. I assume they have the guns. It doesn't say in the list, but all Dread Knights have Silencer, Psy
Cannon. The only thing is that it doesn't have. He's got the sigil on him. I'm assuming he's giving righteousness +1 to wound.
Maybe not. You don't necessarily need righteousness.
True. It depends on what you're doing. It's really good in the Prescience one, of course, because of the fact that everything's on deuces and then you're rerolling ones with the strat.
Yeah.
Drago, my man. What's up? Blame Jack. Exactly. Hashtag blame Jack. I love it.
Hashtag blame Jack. Listen, Cosmic 3D Net, you can blame me as much as you want.
Paladin Ancient. All right. So let's talk about how fixing this. Paladins, sadly, while super cool, are insanity priced for what they do.
How many points is 10 of them?
A billion. Literally a billion. We were just doing this the other day in efficiency cost when you put them next to other units and other Terminators that do the same thing. Especially Custodes exist right now, so you just can't put things on the board that are point inefficient like this, in my opinion. Also, if you're looking to do what you want to do on this, hey, what's going on, brothers? In a Grey Knights list, in my opinion, right now, you have to basically start skewing into what they're really good at. And the thing is you need to be able to play the mission. So if you're pulling back on bodies, I think is not the best way to do that right now, because you're already taking expensive things that can be, in this particular meta, picked up very quickly. Because Dread Knights, while really good for a while, do suffer from the fact that if you fail a couple 4-ups, you're just going to be picked up by Custodes, you're going to be picked up by Crusher Stampede, you're going to be picked up by Tau. So
yeah, I don't want this to segue into a chat where we propose dropping any Dread Knights, because I'm not about that life. Brad.
No, I'm fine with this. You know what I mean? He's already, I never want to take a list away from what it's, the core concept of it's what it's trying to do. You know what I mean?
I also think 4 Dread Knights is like the best way to play Grey Knights. It was 5, and then they said you can't do 5, so now 4.
I mean, I like 4 already, so we already talked about that. So I'm already down with 4. However, the thing is you need more stuff. The mission 2022 mission pack, we talked about this a bit last week when we were talking about it, requires you to do a lot of things, especially in a couple of missions. You go to mission 12, and you might be doing 3 actions a turn, depending on your secondaries, because you've got plant bombs, diffuse bombs, teleport homers, rods, whatever that you're doing. So you need more bodies in here, in my opinion. So
I get that. I don't think that there's actually that many more actions. Diffuse bombs is more of an afterthought than plant bombs is.
True, but it's still just an action. You have to do certain actions. You had to do 0 actions if you chose to in the last mission pack. You now have to do certain actions. You're doing data intercept, you're planting bombs, you know what I mean? Or you're just not getting points, because we talked about that. You just want to just not get 15 points over the game. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you could do the jack method of just smashing your opponent and just getting only 12s every turn. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Right. Well, if you win, then you win. I mean, what I mean by diffuse bomb as an afterthought is, unless you cripple their army, you won't be able to defuse the bombs. So
100%. It's just being able to place them, tell you the truth. You're correct on that. I agree on that. Yeah. But I want more stuff here to be able to do that, though, because you're going to need to trade, especially missions like Tide and stuff like that, where you have a million objectives in the middle of the board. You know what I mean? We've got the Scouring, the Tides of Conviction, where the game gets pretty hot and heavy pretty quick. And if you're trading a Paladin unit, it's going to feel real bad. You know what I mean? Especially, I can chat 100%. The Paladins do feel especially overcosted with all the flat 3 damage.
They also feel very overcosted when you have an Apothecary and a Paladin Ancient backing them up.
Yeah.
That package has got to run you like 600-700 points.
Oh, it's easy. It's over.
Easy.
So I would bring more guys. Jack and Brad. Alex did want to do that. He goes, I want Jack and Brad to argue over Custodes. You won't get that much of an argument, though. We play different. We actually like the same lists most of the time.
I'm really looking forward to trying to play Eldar and maybe Tau if I end up taking Cherokee, with a lot of really little nonsense units running around the board.
It makes me so happy, Jack. My heart feels so happy.
I used to play that way with GSC, because I used to play GSC where you'd have nonsense just all over the board doing stuff, and then eventually you'd die and it was fine. But Custodies don't really do that life. They just don't. Yeah. So you're not going to see that right now.
I want to see more bros in here. Like 1,000%. I'd like to drop this Paladin package and pick myself up a metric ton of interceptors.
Yes.
And the thing is, in this particular meta, though, I don't mind, 3 strikes in this battalion at all. I mean, free deep strike is a big deal. Not having to use CP. And things like teleport homers, we talked about this a lot. Teleport homers got a lot better. So being able to perform that action on your turn is a big deal. Also, automatically doing RND is a big deal. So having these 3...
They can deep strike for
free. It's huge.
For free. I like a battalion with 3 squads of strikes in it after the recent changes. Though we're about to have a ripple effect, though. If we swap out the Paladins, right, which causes the Apothecary and the Paladin Ancient to go. Then there's, what are we using Drago's buff on? Which is an awkward question, because now there's no longer an answer for it.
Correct.
So Drago goes as well. So now we're left with maybe a clear 1,000 points left in the list, and we're like,
I'd like to Silvertide this. I'd like to get a unit of Purifiers in here, because I just like the extra 3 flat damage on the Psychic.
Yep.
So I'd like at least 1 unit of those in.
Or you could get Castle and Crow, who I think is actually pretty good.
I mean, you could do both, tell you the truth.
You could.
Castellan Crow is very cheap for what he does. I'd like to be more efficient in this Grey Knight list for sure.
6, that's basically what he does. He heroic 6, which helps you lock down objectives. So he also gives you Purifying Flame. So if you want to take Purifiers or Crow, both, fine.
I think I would do both. We have a lot of points to work with here.
Yes. I cannot support Paladins in the list, unfortunately.
It's in this meta. Unfortunately, there's so many things that have the exact damage profile to pick them up, and they're just not efficient point cost, unfortunately.
If you really want to use the models, you can swap out some of the strikes for Terminators. Again, would not recommend it, but
if you've got really cool Terminator models, yes, for sure.
That would be a better use of your Terminator models than Paladins.
The OBSEC thing is a big deal too. You know what I mean? And the thing is that there's actions in this and secondaries, both where performing and then being done with them on the same turn is a huge deal. You don't want to do anything where you wait for the next command phase because your opponent will 100% stop you from completing that.
Oh, Alex, that's easy. Brady's right.
Whose dad is better?
Mm-hmm.
I love everything about this. I should turn the redness of my light off, by the way.
Cosmic Paladins themselves can swap for like 3 units, and then their support package can also swap for like 1 to 2 units.
2 units. It's literally the ancient and the that trade out 1 for 1, I think.
Yep. So you could easily go like 20 interceptors, 10 purifiers, and Crow instead of this, and I would like that a lot better.
1,000%. Tell you the truth.
You could probably honestly do more than that. You
need more options, because the thing is that you need to trade, especially in a couple of these missions. We're playing the Scouring, we're playing Conviction, you know what I mean? Where you're basically going to go, let's talk about your secondaries for one. Who's performing, Purify Flame, or Purify Flame, that's your psychic, whatever.
Jesus, you're Spaznik.
I know. I'm going to perform some rituals, baby. So you're basically planning on getting a 15 on the secondary. People have to do it.
Hey, you call me Richie Rich because I'm doing that Purify.
And you're going to trade. You're going to take. You've got a lot of great units. You've got a lot of good hand-to-hand. You can clear chaff. Have more guys with Stormbolters. You know what Dark Eldar and GSC don't want to see? Dudes with Stormbolters taking 20 shots at them all the time.
Especially because the part of Thick City that really is going to get cut going forward are Talos. Everything else in Thick City dies to Stormbolters, even Grotesques.
Yep.
Not super efficiently, but
you just put wounds on people.
Shots kill a Grotesque. Fire 20 shots, kill a Grotesque. And you're just like, that feels
and just having more of this is good. And the thing is you need to trade into things. Even in the 6 objective missions, you're going to want to... you're going to take Stranglehold. Well, we take Stranglehold a lot, period. This is the ultimate mission pack of all time for Stranglehold. Stranglehold is currently sitting at the top of the heap just going... What? I'm the best secondary ever.
Was the best one before, and now it's even besterer.
Yeah, it is the bestiest of the bestiest.
You have to be like GSC before I'm like, all right, fine. take engage on all fronts.
So, but yeah, and the thing is, with that, you don't want to overcommit to get your Stranglehold. You want to send 5 interceptors to clear out their chaff, because they're going to be doing the same type of thing, where you're going to want to hit them weak, and you're going to want to hit them where they're weak. Sorry, and you're not going to want to have to overcommit to get your secondaries on that.
This list here, you're going to find yourself really, really fast running out of units that can hold objectives, that can body block, that can go take your opponent's objective, because your paladins are going to get bogged down with your opponent's army, and your characters that support are going to get bogged down behind them. So what you're left with are 3 squads of strikes that are foot slogging and some dread knights that really don't want to be on the front lines.
Yeah. And the thing is that, guys, don't be afraid. And I see this too often. Don't expose your dread knights right away. It's just literally choose 1 or 2 targets, hide behind your ruin, your wall, kill this, and make it so you don't have any return fire, as opposed to killing 3 things and getting shot by your opponent's entire army. I just see that happen so much.
Yeah.
Pick 1 or 2 targets.
Yeah, you have superior mobility to anybody because of all the teleportation you can do. So what you want to do is you want to take little narrow angles. It's like the concept of slicing a pie, and like
ooh, I like this. Take little pieces.
You You poke out behind terrain so you can see the barest sliver of the thing you want to shoot at all the way on the far flank of your opponent's army. That way his guns in the center of his army can't shoot back at you. And that you can keep your shooting alive. Just imagine like in every cartoon when like 4 people try to see around the same door, their heads pop out like boop, 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 boop. That's what you want to do with your...
Now that is I need an animation for that. That's happening next time.
Yep.
Uh-oh, we got a super chat on from Brandon. Where do we submit lists for review and how much does it cost? I have a 1K random partners list I need help with. Put it in the fix my list.
It doesn't cost anything as long as you are a war room member.
Correct. But if you want to, we should do something about super chats before we get people at the head of the line. I don't know on that. Message us in Discord about this because I will forget because I'm old. But I want to talk about how to bump to the top.
At the moment, it's a little bit of a crapshoot.
Yes.
I picked 3 lists that are dissimilar to the list we did last week and look interesting. So I'm not going to pick 3 Marine lists. I'm going to pick 1 from different armies so more people can learn from different lists.
Put that in and start.
Ultimately, this is a case study rather than one particular list getting fixed. This is learning our thought processes for how to
fix a list
in general.
So let's go to, are we happy with where we went with the Grey Knights?
I think, yeah, you just need more stuff in the army. You need more speed. So unfortunately, the entire Paladin package that like half the list is built around is holding the entire rest of the army down. So cut that, cut Drago, because his buff doesn't matter once you get rid of the Paladins. Cut the Apothecary, cut the Paladin Ancient. You were left with a ton of...
I do kind of like the shenanigans with the Librarian was like a epitome though.
I like it. I personally like it quite a bit.
And you just need a Sigil Grandmaster Dread Knight. He's amazing.
100%. You can even drop swords on your 3 other Dread Knights if you start running out of points. It wouldn't be the first place I would start, but you can do it if you know you...
I hate dropping swords because Dread Fists are terrible.
They are, but it matters less than you'd think after having played Grey Knights for a while.
I'll give it to you, but man, it's just when you don't have that sweep attack sometimes and you get into the situations where you don't have them, it does feel bad.
I get that. Again, it wouldn't be the first thing I would cut, but it is definitely on the table. It's on the table for teleporters for sure. Like, not even close for me. So what you want to do at that point, once you cut all that unfortunately dead weight, if you want to put in your Terminators, you can put them into the troop slot, and I think that's totally fine. You swap them out for strikes.
You need troop OPSEC, though. It's just a big deal.
So 1 unit Terminators in there, 2 units of Terminators, whatever. You want to use those models. I think it's totally fine. Put them in the troop slot. Now, what you want to do is you want to just take a bunch of 5-man units or 10-man units you can combat squad. So that'd be 20 to 30 interceptors or some mix of like 20 to 30 interceptors, 10 to 20 purifiers, and another character. Some mix of that. Slap that right in. Yeah. Your list should be good to go.
And we want efficiency on that. So let's rock and roll. We went to Bloody Rose. We just talked about Bloody Rose.
Did we?
We just did the sisters thing.
We did a clinic. Yeah, I was worried that we did this.
Not a list, but we did the clinic. So we've got Draxis, a Canonist with Blessed Blade, Word of the Emperor.
Courtesy of Sandrello from our Discord.
Ooh, I like that. Morven Vol in the Supreme Command, a Palatine for some rerolls. Sisters, Novitiates. 10 and 9 Sacrosanct, Dogmata, 3 Paragon Warsuits. Foreshadowing, I see something that I'm probably going to leave. 4 Repentia, 8 Zephyrum, an Exorcist, 5 Retributors with only 3 guns, and double Rhino. All right. So first off, let's get the Paragons out of here.
Unfortunately, this is an example of a unit that is just, there's no redeeming it.
It's laughably overcosted, and the problem is it has twofold. It's overcosted and doesn't have very much output. It's just you can't have both of those. You can be overcosted and be very damaging, but you can't be lack of damage and overcosted. It's just
you can't. Basically you can have a 500-point unit that hits like a 400-point unit. You can't have a 240-point unit that hits like a 100-point unit.
Yeah,
just you can't have that. That's way too inefficient. Unfortunately, I do love the models. We have a bunch sitting in our closet ready to be built and painted.
I want them to be good.
We are. But this is an example of a unit that if you include it in your army, it will weigh it down and make it less efficient just across the board. Now, ordinarily, I think that we could leave those in, but you also have Vol, and that is 520 points in 2 units, one of which is deeply overcosted. You're in danger of running out of stuff in the rest of the list. If you include here's a rule of thumb for you guys, just for as I said, as a case study for the rest of your lists. If you have one big expensive unit, if you include a second one, you're in danger of that just being your list. If you have a almost 300 point unit like Vol, and you include a 250 point unit like the Paragon Warsuits, the rest of your list is going to noticeably be thinner.
And especially with a unit that does not have fly and is not quick. If you spend a ton of your points in 1 or 2 things and they're not very, very mobile, your opponent will just avoid those expensive things in the first place, let alone being inefficient with their cost also. So that becomes a very big problem in that.
Right. Custodies Bikes actually aren't that much more expensive than Paragon Warsuits, but the differences are Custodies Bikes, hit harder. They actually hit about the same, but they move fast, which means
they have the fly keyword for one.
They do. They're more durable, and they control a much larger swath of the board for their points cost.
The thing is the fly and infantry keywords are huge
vehicles.
It's just you not being able to move through terrain and or over other models is a huge deal. You just can't. Those are just detriments. Like if you have the vehicle or cavalry keyword, you need to be really good for me to take you in my army.
The one of the biggest things that having the vehicle keyword instead of infantry on these causes is, in order to develop your unit, in order to get it up the board, to get it into a position where it can start influencing the course of the game, you are going to have to expose it to shooting. Infantry don't have to do that. They can walk through walls, from wall to wall to wall to wall to wall up the board, and be very
and the thing is, so can fly keyword. That's why it's such a big deal. And the thing is you actually lose mobility on this because you hide. You have to walk back around the wall you're probably hiding behind. So you literally move so much slower. You have to be so good for me to. I mean, Vol has so many big things about her that go, oh, okay, I will take her for this, but I'll choose a character so I can hide her.
You know what's insane? Broadsides are infantry.
Yeah.
Have 8 ones.
They're also gigantic. I love they also have the extra bulky or whatever rule. They're so huge and they still just power through walls.
The crushing bulk.
Crushing bulk, yeah. So let's talk about what we're doing here. We're going to lose some Paragons. If I'm going to take Repentia, I definitely need a larger Repentia squad.
Sisters Repentia feels like it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, because you might lose one on Overwatch. You might lose one where you're coming in. You just need more swings. And the thing is the key thing is that what I usually do when I'm looking at my size of my units is go into, just do quick maths on what am I trying to kill? What are the chances of this many Repentia killing the thing that I want to kill? Look in the meta. Go, what is taking the middle objectives or whatever you're trying to target with your Repentia is? And then you need at least that many Repentia, probably +1, because you need the extra swings in case swings go bad. So you just need a little bit more on that. I would like to see the 4th weapon on this Retributor squad for sure.
Yep, I really would. So luckily, removing the Paragons does not actually significantly influence your to the lasts, which is nice. You still have good to the lasts even if you remove that expensive unit. You have your unit of Sacrosanct, your Vol, and the Exorcist, all of which are excellent to the last. So ordinarily, removing the Paragons might cause a problem there, but you still have great to the last, so get them out of there.
And buff up this Repentia. I would like to see 2 Zephyrims, tell you the truth, especially with Morven Vol on your list.
Yep. If back slots open, I want to use them. Yeah,
100% on that. And the thing is Zephyrim with Morven Vol become just missiles of death. Full rerolls to hit and wound make that squad just crazy.
Especially Savage Twist. Access to Savage Twist with reroll wounds on Zephyrim, very strong.
Ooh.
I get behind a second Zephyrim squad, maybe 2x7. Because 8 feels like it's a little much, but it's it's a little nitpicky on that. I also really like the Sisters Novitiate squads in Rhinos 155 for 10 and girls who have like 50 attacks.
Yeah, I agree 1,000% on that.
You have an extra slot for a novitiate unit because you have 2 battle sister squads. So I'd really love to see like another, like what you could do for the points of the war suits, honestly, is like go to 2x7 Zephyrum, and then you may have to cut a couple points out of your list, but you could include another Sisters Novitiate squad and another Rhino to put them in. I'd really like that.
Both. I was about to say, I'd like to go to the 3rd Rhino anyways, and the extra novitiate squad to be huge.
Yeah,
I'd like
you
to
might
see
go
another
like
squad of
6.
Zephyrum, more Repetia in that squad, another novitiate squad, and another Rhino.
Yeah. The benefit of going to 2x6 Zephyrum is when you need to use them to get retrieve Knockman data, you can. So I like that.
All of the things.
Yes.
And I don't mind. Do we want this many characters? I think I'm still okay with.
How many characters we got? We got
5.
Draxis, which is nice. We got Canoness with, let's look at the characters real fast because I have some character setups that I like.
We've got 5 characters with Dogmata, Palatine, Canoness, Draxis, and Vol. I mean, Vol, if he puts Vol on the list, it's in the list for a reason. It's Supreme Command, keeping it in.
Yeah. I don't dislike your setup here. I think Draxis may not need to be in this list. She is 85 points. You already have 1 fights last. That's basically all that she does. You're not realistically going to get any psychic secondaries out of her because she's 1 character and can be sniped. Yeah. Your opponent's going to put 300-400 points into her to kill her. If you pick a psychic secondary, they're going to give you 0. So because you already have 1 fights last and you don't have a lot of MSU combat, I would probably drop Draxis because you don't need to make 2 units fight last, which should free you up for more points. I do like that. Dogmata, you have full buff Dogmata. I think that's fine. You can make her good in combat and then include a Preacher as well, which I think is totally okay.
I would like to see one of the other characters for a Preacher, tell you the truth, if I was doing anything.
Yeah.
Preacher's just nice. I mean, this list really revolves around melee, you know what I mean? So +1 attack would be pretty awesome.
The Dogmata can do it.
Oh, that's true. Sorry.
Yeah. But if you were to turn, I'm just giving an option. This is not necessarily better or worse. But if you turn the Dogmata into a Bonkmata with Chaplet of Sacrifice, Blazing Ire. Chaplet of Sacrifice does a lot of cool things for the Dogmata. Gives her reroll hits, and it also says when she dies, she can fight. It doesn't say if she hasn't already fought, so she can fight twice. So you give her Blazing Ire, so she advances and charges, and then she rerolls hits, and she gets +1 attack. And then she gets reroll hits, and then she fights, and then using the chant, she either fights again, or they kill her and she fights again. In addition, you can just stand her back up and then charge into a combat, die, and then fight twice, which hits incredibly hard. In that case, you would want a Preacher, so you have Warham support even after she goes and murders something horrendously.
I'm gonna scroll up chat real quick. It's gonna answer like 3 of these in a row. Yep. Rhinos are basically kind of a big deal for the novitiates because smart missile systems and air bursting will just insta-pick them up if they don't.
Oh, yeah.
Consideration for Paragons if they're running as Valorous Heart, for the extra survivability, they're still horribly overcosted. That's the problem, even in that. And this is a significantly different list if it was Valorous Heart.
And also that's without the wade into the foe or whatever, the Bloody Rose thing that gives them exploding 4s in combat.
Yeah.
You lose access to that, which means the damage output is really
low. Yeah. How good is Mortarion in the current meta? Mortarion's always going to have a place. He's a bullet magnet, except for the current meta right now has just silly amounts of damage.
So what you're saying is he always has a place except now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can high roll him, you know what I mean? He's got a 4-up in roll and a 5-up fin no pain, but every single army has ways to do big multi damage right now, like 3+D3. So every time he fails a save, you better be making a lot of 5-ups. And without the fact that he no longer can be warp timed and stuff like that, means that he's fairly slow and for what he's doing.
Yeah, Mortarion is, when they released him, he's the kind of model like Knights and like Magnus and etc. Big models like Dimicarans, things like that.
I have Jack pick the list, by the way. So if you want your list to be reviewed, you have to give Jack cookies or something. Whatever basically Jack wants.
Whatever Jack wants, Jack gets. Yeah, so models like that your opponent can just shoot. They just have to be durable enough to tank it, and the offense has gone up as the edition has gone on, which means that they're just not anymore, which is kind of a problem. It's a big problem for knights.
It's just anybody that's any of the time. I mean, just exactly as talking. Jack was saying, it's just the problem is he's a quarter of your list, and I don't think, and he can't reliably give you 500 points of damage is the problem.
Yeah, if he goes down turn 1, and there are plenty of armies that can do it, not a lot, but there's plenty. There's a lot that can do it in 2. But if he goes down turn 1, the game's just over.
Oh God, I love it. Lyle goes, Heidi says Storm Surge wants to sneak up behind Mortarion for a surprise stuff.
That giant cannon ignoring invulns.
Yeah, it is
minus 1 damage. It's 11 damage now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, Mortarion is viable. He's just not amazing. He's just I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But you're also talking to the guy that kind of feels like anything over 100 points makes me start to like break out in hives. So I like cheap stuff, and Mortarion is not cheap stuff. That being said, I've played with Mortarion.
Yeah, it's taking a lot of agency out of your hands to play the game. Your opponent can see him, and they can just roll dice and attack him, and you cannot play around that. I love options that let you play around it. That's what Brad was saying with anything over 100 points. It really gives him the agency to sacrifice units or to hide or to play around what his opponent's trying to do. Mortarion doesn't do that. He's just taking what your opponent wants to do and saying, that's probably not enough.
Hopefully not enough. Let's go into this Tau army because I have so much to say. You know, we might disagree on this.
I've been deep diving Tau recently.
Same.
Yeah. So first up, the main problem with the list is that it's illegal.
Yeah. Well, yes, because it has 2 commanders in a battalion, which you can't do.
No. You can do that with Farsight.
No. Sorry. You can do it's Farsight. I apologize. Yeah. I didn't even realize it was Farsight.
The main reason it's illegal is Farsight is not a Supreme Commander.
Also, yes.
Oh, he can't be in a Supreme Command?
Oh, yeah, that's why I did. But I'm not going to lie. That's why I didn't notice him, because I at first thought he was Shadow Sun because I saw Supreme Command, and I just assumed it was Shadow Sun when I looked down.
No. Unfortunately, you would have to run double patrol. Now, fortunately for you, that's fine because double patrol is okay. Yeah, so that's the first change you got to make is you got to make it legal, buddy. Farsight has to be he has to be in an HQ slot, not a Supreme Commander.
Yeah, I have a hard time not taking a Crisis Commander right this second just because of fall back. I do love the Enforcer a ton because I like making my Crisis OBSEC.
Yeah, let's look at the core of what his army is trying to do. Let's
talk about the fact that it is a Farsight list too. So it basically wants to get up close and personal to get those Farsight buffs, which I've actually been pulling away from Farsight because the best counter into Tau is to punch them. And if you're getting too close, you're getting punched. So
all of Tau's buffs, even not in Farsight, rely on you getting close to your opponent through not through bullets. Exemplar of the Montka, and all the Montka benefits.
Yeah, I mean, Kion is within 12, basically 18, 12, 6 for Montka. But I think you don't lean into those that hard because of that, though. I'm a big fan of Tau Sep, tell you the truth. I just love, plus Dark Strider's my man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. I really like Farsight Enclaves. I really like the more aggressive version, especially
that's because you do Jack stuff.
Well, no, this is Siegs has been impressing me with what Farsight Enclaves can do. The damage you can put out.
It can. My only problem is you get close. So you basically, if you have a bad turn and you get close, well, things can happen.
Well, he usually doesn't get close to you right off the bat. He usually does a little bit of damage and then removes your ability to deal with him, and then he just goes on the offensive.
I can see that. But you can do that with a Kion at that point. I'll give you that. They're all, to tell you the truth, I love this about the Tau book. As much as I don't like a lot of things about Tau invalidating MSU, I do like the fact that internally Tau has great arguments for what Sept is good. Because I think that multiple Septs have arguments to be played. And I think that's fantastic.
I think Farsight Enclaves, Ally World, Borkon and Tau Sept are all super good, and then there's a bunch of custom septs you can make. You can make, if you're within 12 inches, all your assault weapons get +1 strength. You can count as always in dense cover. You can, as long as you move. And you can also say incoming weaponry, strength 7 or under is -1 strength. That's the half of Borkon I really like.
I love that a lot. The extra range is always good too. Let's go to give me. I want to jump into chat just for a second.
Sure.
Crisis Suit Commander giving ignore minus to hit 100%. He's huge. I mean I was basically going into the other things that he does. That one's just why he's already in the list, and then you give that.
And the fall back and charge as well.
Yeah.
I mean, fall back and shoot. Fall back and shoot,
which is really, that's all you want to do, your tile. With the Rise of Tile, do you want to see triple Satana? That might actually be a thing.
It might. They have ways to ignore the Catan's ignore wounds thing, too, specifically. One is a warlord trait from Farsight Enclaves that just the commander ignores. You can't ignore wounds dealt by the commander.
Yep.
That guy will rip a Catan off the board every turn.
Yeah.
The other one is a relic burst cannon.
Relic burst cannon also does the same thing. Unfortunately, yeah, I was about to say it depends on their loadout, because I think they're going to be going to a lot of that, especially with the fact that we've seen that all the Phoenix Lords are going to have that ability also. So I think that with Craft Worlds coming out, you're going to be seeing them take that more often, because you can just pick up one of the Phoenix Lords in a turn with one of those guys. It's huge.
They also have some amount of combat, not a lot, but they have one commander who's really good at it. So that means that they can totally just kill a Catan in one turn. They just do 6 wounds in shooting, do 3 with the burst cannon, do the rest with all their other overwhelming shooting, and then they just charge into you with their super commander and pick you up. And that's very bad. It's very, very bad if that happens.
100% in this. I love me some Crude Hounds. 6 Vespid is fantastic for so many random shenanigan reasons. I kind of want to just put this Ghost Keel in the ejector seat and jump and shoot him out the top.
I'm sorry. You in chat is killing me. All right.
Oh, I did. I mean, I did say 1812 not 6 instead of 1812 9. Whoopsie.
Yeah, 1812 9 really helps. The overwhelming damage you can put out when you're within 12 inches of your opponent, it's insane, man. It's crazy. Yeah. It's not okay.
There's so many things in the options on this. Let's go into we can talk about this. We'll go back into the commanders in a second, because I actually think that there's multiple commander loadouts we could do. Mm-hmm. I'd like to talk about one to pump this up. I do think that
he does have a crisis commander. He has Farsight. Farsight is a crisis commander. Has the ability.
True.
Yeah. So he does have the ability to fall back and shoot and to ignore penalties. So that's pretty good. I don't want to sell that short. You do have to not put him in.
I'm not going to lie. I got to center this again, because I keep forgetting about Farsight because he's listed as Supreme Command. So every time I look down, I see Supreme Command and go, oh, it's Shadow Sun. So.
Yeah. So let's look at the packages that he's included in the list. So we'll see what support that it needs. He has 5 Crisis Battlesuits, Cyclic Ion, Fusion, Plasma Rifle, and then 4 more of those. So no drones. That is a warning sign for me. I think you need some more drones.
You got no target lock in there either.
Well, you don't really need it. Cyclic Ion is going to be AP2 or AP3, and you can get up to AP4 if you want. So I think that's fine. Fusion Blasters AP4, Plasma Rifles AP4. I don't think you need a target lock on them. You could honestly, Velocity Tracker is good. You could also take a multi-tracker. That way, against bigger units like other Battlesuit units, you can get 6s explode. Either one of those, I think, is fine. I think I'd rather have multi-tracker than Velocity, but it's close. You have Iridium and Stim Injectors. I would definitely take a Shield Gen on that guy, just to make that one guy tough.
If you're juicing up to that, you definitely need. You can't. If you're going to put all of these on, you need to put. It's a kind of an all-in package. If you're taking any of these things, you're taking all of these things.
Yes, and I would take some drones in that unit for sure. You don't want to just take salvo launchers to the dome. You want to have the option to be like, nah, those salvo launchers, they're going on a drone.
Yeah.
Or if you fail a save, you can pop it to a drone for 1 CP. Feels very good. So I would definitely want some shield drones in here. So going on, we have 5 more Crisis Battlesuits with 2 airbursts and a flamer apiece. With the this is literally the special, but no shield drones. Again, I can't get behind that.
He's got the Dominator frag on it too, on one of them.
This is literally the Siege Special. I will be running a unit like this as well if I take the top.
Let's be honest, as will everyone.
As will everyone. It is craziness.
Yeah, it's this. I'm not gonna lie. Let's just pause on this one. 5 crisis suits with air bursting are an automatic must take in all Tau armies. So fix your list or not, this unit is disgusting, especially with some of the buffs you can put on depending on, you know, what sept you're playing, between reroll to wound, +1 to wound. Just there's so much you can do with this unit, and it picks up so many scoring. You can basically take these guys are, you should just model them as trash men, because these guys take out the trash and they get rid of it in a quickness, and they're a must take, and they can do all this from 24 inches, 28 if you're working,
That's right.
And literally give themselves absolutely no threat and just nickel and dime people to death, basically. And it's crazy. So I love this unit.
I like it.
A huge amount. It is a must take. This is the starred part of the list, because you can argue a lot of Tau, but I think that this is not the beyond the argument. You just, Battle Scribe should put this unit in so you don't have to click 57 buttons on your crisis suits.
You do need some drones in there, my man, though. You really do. Otherwise, a couple units of bikes will just pick you up and shooting. Like 2 units of bikes will got the, and it's pretty rough. Honestly, 1 unit of bikes just picks up 3 of them, and it's you can't have that.
If
so
we got the Crisis Bodyguard unit, yeah.
So this Crisis Bodyguard unit is also illegal, unfortunately, because you don't have 4 hard points on bodyguards. You have 3.
Yes, I was just about to say. Oh, he's got target locks on those.
Yeah.
Just tell you the truth, I would just take the flamer off. Yeah.
Yeah, just take the flamer off. Suddenly, those bodyguards are ace. Again, you want some drones. You just want some drones, man. Please have some drones in this list. You got a Ghost Keel with Cyclic Ion, which I think is the better gun. 2 burst cannons. All right, fine. The Disruptor Suite, which is pretty expensive, not gonna lie. An early warning override. It's fine.
I love this. Alex, my dad said I was right, so you're allowed to copy my list for the weekend if you take out that. The plate captain.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I love it.
I like how I commented on it and you just left your guy hanging.
I love it. We were just talking 2 minutes ago, too. This is the best part.
Yeah, Ghost Keel's fine. It doesn't really contribute to damage that much. I can't really say
just take him out.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's not fine. We're trying to make this the most efficient. That's our whole job when we do this. Just take him out. You want to take him out.
Keep him in. It's fine. The Ghost Keel's not terrible. There's very few bad units in Tau.
Sure, but I could bring an unbelievable unit instead.
What are you bringing instead of the Ghost Keel? It's 160. Like, it's not super overpriced. It's overpriced by like 20.
Yeah, but I mean, literally, if you want to go with another unit of Crisis in any way, shape, or form, is amazing. I mean,
you can't another unit of Crisis in this list. Not without removing Ghost Keel and the Hammerhead and then something else.
I mean, I'm just not a big fan of the Ghost Keel. I've played with the Ghost Keel. I've tested the Ghost Keel. It just feels bad.
It does, because it doesn't reroll anything.
Yeah, it's just.
But it's fine. It's okay.
There's so many good things in Tau. Tau is so OP that I would rather just not.
I would take off the Disruption Suite, though. That is 30 points, I'm pretty sure. And, you're making your guy 190. Please stop. Make my job defending it to Brad easier and make it 160.
I would eject this Ghost Keel out of the army.
Yeah.
This Ghost Keel is going to show up for me, and I'm going to be like, oh, you're going to be deploying somewhere else, like off the table on my display board.
I think the Ghost Keel's fine to leave in. I think we want to address like the this is going to sound meaner than it is. The glaring flaws in the list, the Ghost Keel's fine. 2 units of Crude Hounds, a unit of Vespid Stingwings. There's 6-man, and then Hammerhead, and then a Remora drone. So here is a problem I see in your list, right? You have the 6-man Vespid Stingwings. Why is that? You have the 6-man Vespid Stingwings so that you can do Retrieve Knockman data. The problem is you don't have any support in the rest of your list for Retrieve Knockman data. because that is the only 6-man squad that you have. So you can do one of your opponent's quarters, but you can't do both because your Kroot are not gonna. I'm sorry, they're absolute heroes of the Imperium. They're not gonna get across the board.
The Croutons are blocking. That's all they're doing. They're blocking out your board edges. They're stopping things. I love them.
Yeah. So it seemed like you included the 6 because, I mean, Siegs includes 6 and justifies it for Retrieve Nachmund, which makes sense. So you included 6. That also makes sense. But if you're going to design Retrieve Nachmund into your list, you need to have more than one unit that can deep strike and do it. Because good opponents will not let you just walk into their quarter and do it. So you have to have at least 2 deep strikers or 2 reserve elements that can retrieve Nachmund data in your opponent's quarter.
Or
whether that is
you can also do something like a Breacher Fish if you're trying to do that. So
you could also cut the Remora drone and upgrade Kroot Hounds to a second unit of 6 Vespid. I'm not sure the points on that because I don't really know what Remora drone. I don't really know the points on Remora drones, but I'm guessing that's around the right points. You could cut the Remora and make it a upgrade a Kroot squad to another Stingwing squad, and then you do have a really good retrieve Nachmund data package in your army. The other thing you can do is include some stealth suits. The package Siegs includes is 4 stealth suits and 2 drones attached, which makes it a 6-man squad. And then later in the game, you can shove it back into reserves, bring it back out again, and retrieve Nachmund data in your opponent's squad.
I do like the stealth. I mean, I'd rather, speaking of things that the Ghost Kill could be, stealth suit team.
I do agree. I want to focus. I'm triaging here, Brad.
I just, the Ghost Kill I'm literally showing, this is what I'm doing to the Ghost Kill. He's getting a rear naked choke put on him. And he's getting the hell out of here. That's where I'm going with.
I think the Ghost Kill's fine. Cut the Disruptor suite. You can keep the Ghost Kill.
If the only thing I would change on the Ghost Kill is I would change how you spell Ghost Kill to say Stealth Team.
Right. Sure. Okay. Let's focus on some other stuff in here. You do need a second retrieve Nachmund data squad. So that would be upgrading squad Kroot Hounds to Vespid, including stealth teams, some second unit that's 6-man that can do it. Period. If you're including 6 Vespid, you need to go all the way or none of the way. You can't go halfway. Yes. So you need another no half measures. You need another deep striking unit. So that I would say be another squad of Vespid instead of Kroot Hounds. Second thing, you need some drones. You are very vulnerable to being shot. 2 units of crisis suits, 2 5-man crisis suits with 0 drones is very fragile. Very, very fragile. So what you need to do is you need to find the points and slot 4 to 5 drones in each unit. I know exactly what Brad is about to say.
I'm leaving it alone, man. I was trying to be nice.
Find these points.
I'm usually the nice one out of here. You usually hammer down on things harder than I do. I don't even know what's happening today. We're doing like a weird reverse bad cop, good cop thing.
I'm doing reverse psychology on you, Brad. So I do like your setups on the commanders as far as taking drones there. I mean, thank God. But you do need to find some points for drones on your crisis units. You can't have them get killed. And it's not even that they won't kill 5. If they kill 3, like one salvo launcher unit sees you and just boom, 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 kills 3 of your guys, that unit is gutted for the rest of the game. Can't do anything.
You know what? I need to. We have a great comment. There's a bunch of great comments, but I do want to save Mark's comment. And the fact that people need to stop trashing on specific armies and treating players like garbage for playing those armies. We can have any talks you want on armies and what they are. 100%. You can always do that. However, never treat players like garbage for playing those armies. It's a toy soldier game. You can play whatever the hell you want. You should never be giving people shit about playing things that they enjoy playing. It's a freaking toy game, guys. You know what I mean?
Play what you want. Don't apologize.
100%.
Yeah. Lyle, I do want to get to your list very quickly at the end. I was saving it for last, the Blood Angel list, so I can't, in good conscience, have Blood Angel list 1 week, Blood Angel list the second week. If I do that, Brad might revolt, and I don't want to see him like hurt his back or something. So
I'll injure myself.
So, Mark, the role I would assign the Ghost Keel to would be sitting in the back on an objective, picking away at your opponent, and just holding that objective. Brad is correct. It is not the best unit in the book, and sure. I'm looking to solve immediate problems first, and the immediate problems I would say would be, A, the list is illegal. So go double patrol. You're going to lose 2 CP. That's fine. Secondly, you do need to include drones on your crisis suit units, otherwise they're going to die way, way, way too fast. I get it. One fire and fades, the other one stays out of line of sight, but your opponent is a warm, breathing, living human being. They are going to attempt to play against you. They are going to attempt to make plays happen, and they are going to try and put some damage into these crisis units. And when they do, if you don't have any shield drones, buddy, you are dead. So you need to include some shield drones in there. And the final thing I would say is you need to buff out your retrieve knockman data package. So I think there were more drone leaves, 6 more Vespid come in instead of fruit hounds. And then if you feel like listening to Brad, 100% cut the ghost keel. I am, you know what? Fine. I'm not defending that guy. I'm saying, play what you want. It's fine. Cut the disruption suite though. 30 points. Just, no, thank you. Those are the changes I would make to the list, and it would make it quite a bit better in my opinion. Let me look at the character loadouts because we're coming back to those.
Yeah, I do want to point out real quick. I got a couple of things on. I can't even talk today. If you take basically a triple patrol, you can run Rax in a non-coven list. It doesn't break anything. They just don't get the obsession. 100%.
Okay. So you have 1 cold star that is Precision of the Hunter, Onager, High Output Burst, the Thermoneutronic Projector, Fusion Blaster, and Positional Relay. Okay, so if you were to swap to stealth suits, you wouldn't need the positional relay. So you would get an extra hard point on your guy with Precision of the Hunter, which is pretty good.
And Precision of the Hunter is a big deal. Especially, I actually do like the Precision of the Hunter Onager combo because it does give you something to punch back against things that get up close and personal in your backfield.
Especially with Thermoneutronic.
Yeah. The fact that you can use that in combat, 2 damage flamer, it's nice. This is a big thing as far as people that play Tau on this. This combo itself is kind of a must take when you get into if you're taking precision, and then the Onager, the Thermoneutronic is a big deal because it gives you a very big melee threat. It gives you your only melee threat, basically.
Yeah, you need a good melee weapon and precision in order to make a good combat.
Exactly, because you're rerolling everything. It's such a big deal. And then the flamer that you can fire into combat that's 2 damage is never anything to shake a stick at. So
yeah, I do want to drop the Nova Surge Plasma Rifle. It's not bad, especially Farsight Enclaves. You can reroll a wound roll. It's just overcosted, I think, on your units. Otherwise, I think your commander loadout is pretty good. I do want to remove the positional relay if at all possible, which makes me really lean towards a stealth suit team.
Plus, there's a couple of things that we want to wait until the FAQ that are weird rulings, so positional relay is one of them.
Yeah, Fusion Blaster also is not the best weapon on a commander with reroll hits and wounds.
You want volume, 100%.
You want volume. So what I would take, honestly, is I would just turn that cold star into, like, literally high output burst cannon, thermoneutronic projector, and then, like, double air burst or double burst cannon or something like that, just to get as many shots in the air as possible to reroll hits and wounds again with. And then your other guy has double plasma rifle, fusion blaster, cyclic, which is fine. I'd probably go, like, double plasma, double cyclic. Cyclics are pretty gross.
Fusion's pretty nasty too, though. I mean, there's arguments to be made either way.
He's totally fine, though. I wouldn't.
Either way, this case, I think the commanders are fine. I would just take out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That feels a little nitpicky on my part. The biggest takeaways would be 1, double patrol it up. 2, include some drones on your units, even if you have to cut some stuff, man. You just can't have them die. And 3, you need to include a second unit to get your retreat. That's about it. You can drop the ghost keel if you want, and please drop the 30 points. But, other than that, if you want to leave it in just to spite Brad, honestly, it's your time.
I'd also like to point out that Alex's dad loves him a lot. And he's been, we've had multiple things. I feel that I love my sons more than you love your sons.
Mm-hmm.
Old man Brad.
Do you text them back, Brad? Do you text them back?
Yeah, all the time.
Mm-hmm. It sounds likely. All right, let's look at Lyle's list real fast because I know. I'm hijacking it real fast to talk about Blood Angels again, but at least I did 3 lists that were not Blood Angels. You're welcome.
Jack's taking us into overtime to look at this Blood Angels list.
All right, so I'm gonna speed run this. Okay, are you ready? I'm gonna speed run the feedback on this. All right, Lyle's taking a single battalion. It's got Dante. It's got Chaplain. It's got Priest with Healer. It's got the Chaplain on bike with all the good warlord traits and relics. I'm speed running this. I don't have time to go over it. He has 2 units of 5 Assault Intercessors, 1 unit of Incursors, 3 units of 5 Death Company with a whole ton of hammers, a Sanguinary Ancient with the Relic Banner move +2, and the Obsec Aura. I like that guy. 10 Vanguard Vets with Claws and Shields. Don't have a problem with that. 6 Assault Marines, Jump Packs, and a Hammer. 6 Assault Marines, Jump Packs, and a Hammer. Those guys are clearly in there for Retrieve Document Data. All right, here's the main problem with the list that I see. You have no shooting. I know my list normally doesn't have very much shooting, but you do want enough shooting to clear out things that you don't want to have to charge because you are an elite army. You will have to charge into things if you want to kill them with this army, which means you're committing a 5-man Death Company unit to kill like 5 sisters. You don't want that. You want some more bolters. That's kind of why I like the Sanguinary Guard. That's why I like the Intercessors as well with auto bolt rifles. I know it doesn't look like much, but it does add up, and you do need it. All right, there we go.
We need to make this longer next time. I love this part. All of the goodness, all of the time.
So,
and I just accidentally moved your background. Oops.
Add some more shooting back in. There's a reason why I like those units. Although I do like the Death Company, especially with their points drops. I like them with just chain swords as well, if you want to include that.
All of the things.
All of them.
All of the things. And I love that we did a Tau list, by the way. And the best part we said about Tau was we could change things up to our personal thing. Tau are really good. Although, like, yeah, this might be slightly more efficient than this, but they're both amazing. So, oh, man.
Yeah. So this was a lot of fun to work on. These are supposed to be case studies for you to fine-tune your own lists. Listen to us how we would go over a list. You'd fine-tune it. Like, if you have a Tau list that isn't quite like the Tau list that we reviewed, then you can still take feedback from, we're not trying to say this is the list you can take. We're just saying, here are some tweaks you want to make.
The biggest thing about when we do this is, Jack was 100% right, it's the how. So, like, when we even start going back and forth about why we would do it, that is the whole point, is the concept of what you're doing, is how you're going about it. So, but we do have 1 minute to get ready for Know Thy Enemy Custodes.
Yep. If you want to go ahead and submit your own lists, what you want to do is if you're a War Room member, you go into our Discord, there's a Fix My List channel. You want to just submit your list. And if I like your list enough and it's different from the ones we've done before, I will grab it. We will talk about it.
Hopefully, we see you in just a moment. Everybody, I appreciate you hanging out. Join the War Room, jump in, put some lists in, send some cookies to Jack, and we will do this.